Welcome. Today is a day of de-influencing for the new year. A few of these books were suggested to me heartily and were terrible. A few of these books were suggested to me and I loved them. So let's see which is which. Because I have a really hard time giving negative opinions about literally anything, especially books, because people work so hard on books and take forever to make them. This is going to be two books that were suggested to me that I absolutely just didn't like. Everyone said they were amazing. You all lied to me. And then it's going to be two books that were worth it. 100% worth it. That way maybe you can walk away from this with a good book too. This first one is going to be controversial. And I know it is because everyone says that they love it. There's so many books by this author. And that is The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. I DNF this. And if you know me, that's a big deal because I don't DNF books. I force myself through them. I make myself finish them for that Goodreads goal. I DNF The Housemaid. Maybe halfway through, I gave it a good shot. I didn't just abandon it. Basically, I can't get with anything that this main character decided to do. If you don't know what this is, someone moves in to be a housemaid, like a live-in housemaid for a family, and the wife does some really weird jealous type things. But this character, in my opinion, does everything she can for this wife to hate her. Like, don't get me wrong, the wife's got problems. But if you were acting the way I see you acting with my man and I knew it, oh no. Oh no. I feel like this main character did nothing to help. A lot of the plot twists I could kind of guess out. And I just did not like this main character. I can read a book. If the main character carries, if the dialogue is great, I'll read it. I'll push through. I don't care. Nothing in this gave me the vibes that I needed. So this was my first DNF of last year. The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. Allow me to de-influence you. In my opinion, there are way better thriller books. Way better thriller books. I realize I don't want to ruin a book for you without giving you something else in that genre to replace it. So if I just ruined The Maid for you and you don't want to read it now, Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. Any book by Gillian Flynn. Good read, good thriller. The Only One Left by Riley Sager. Also a really good read. Riley Sager is an amazing horror author. So if I just messed up that thriller for you, there's these two. Next is a book that blew up all over Book Talk. People love this book. They can't get enough of it. It is currently a duology, I believe. I did finish it, did not love it. And that is Butcher and the Blackbird by Brynne Weaver. Hi, I'm just doing something. Hi. Can you move? Can you move? Amazing. Good judge. Good judge. All right, well, our next book is Butcher and the Blackbird by Brynne Weaver. Now, this was another book that has like a cult following on Book Talk. I would call it kind of a dark romance. I love dark romance books. I eat it up, okay? The characters and the relationships in this made it feel forced to me. It's about two serial killers who end up meeting each other. These serial killers only kill people who deserve to be killed, like PDF files and stuff like that. That is who they go after. And they both have heard of each other. They both know that each other are serial killers. And they end up doing this thing where they have a competition. They meet up and see who can get their mark first. I feel like the relationship was really forced. Like the only thing that they could carry between each other was that they both had trauma and they were both serial killers. I didn't love the banter. It was okay, but it wasn't enough to carry what I thought was kind of a mediocre book. If this is your kind of book, don't blame you. If you loved this and loved Leather and Lark as well, amazing. I'm not going to be reading Leather and Lark. This just didn't do it for me. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't love the pacing. I didn't love the relationship. I felt like it wasn't good enough for me. Is the other book that I got recommended last year and genuinely didn't like it. How dare hundreds of you tell me I was going to love it. Now, like I said, I can't just be negative, okay? I love reading, I love books. Even the books I just mentioned, other people could read them and love them, and I love that. I hope you love it. I hope if you read those books and you fell in love with them, that everything I say just floats out over your head, does not matter to you. Because amazing, I want you to love the things you love. This is something that was recommended to me last year. I was an author that was recommended to me who's super popular on all of the Bookscape websites. And that's Emily Henry. Beach Read was my favorite Emily Henry book that I read last year. I read, I think, 3 or 4 Emily Henry books. I just bought this exclusive edition because I loved the book. I had to really talk myself into it, but it was worth it. I really like Beach Read. Beach Read is about a woman author whose father dies. She learns some really interesting stuff about her parents' relationship, and it makes her realize that she's having a really hard time writing the romance books she typically writes to make her money. So she goes on a vacation to this lake house that her dad owned. Across the way from this lake house, you ask? Her mortal enemy, who writes the exact opposite genre that she does, and who she fought with in college. We love that. The characters are amazingly fleshed out. Emily Henry has some of the best banter in a romance book that I've ever seen. And I am very much a dark romance person. So when I read just a regular like rom-com book and recommend it, that means something. Emily Henry does it right. She has the layout for how to write a regular romance book. I love this. This was a 5-star read for me. So Beach Read is something that should be suggested to you. Anything Emily Henry, super worth it. Okay, this next recommendation is actually going to be a series, and it's one that I haven't really heard about on any bookscape that I'm on. I don't hear about it on TikTok. I don't see pictures of it on Instagram, which is crazy to me because it's a YA series, but it's, to me, one of the best book series I've ever read. I like every series that I've read by this author, and that is A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Brigid Kemmerer. It's a trilogy, A Curse So Dark and Lonely, A Heart So Fierce and Broken, A Vow So Bold and Deadly. I read these, I think in 2020 when I first started getting back into reading in my like Throne of Glass era. And these books are absolutely beautiful. It has disabled representation. It has a prince. It has a foreign land. We love it. Basically, a girl from modern day DC is taken to this fairy tale world to try to help break a prince's curse. When she gets there, hell no, you don't kidnap me just to break your curse. No, I'm not helping you. It's the best, like, I will call it rivals to lovers. They're not enemies, but she obviously does not like him when she's kidnapped and brought there. It's a whole trilogy. It's an amazing fantasy series. It doesn't have, like, it's not high fantasy. It's YA. It's beautiful. I love it. It's got amazing undertones. The characters are amazing. You fall in love with side characters that you only see for 2 chapters. Those are some of my favorites. Brigid Kemmerer knows how to build a world and make you fall in love with everyone that she shows you. So I highly suggest A Curse So Dark and Lonely trilogy by Brigid Kemmerer. And so there you have it. This is my first long form booktube video. Let me know if you have any suggestions or things you want to see me talk about as far as books go. And I love you. Say it back. Bye.